And we're back on Vegas Pulse. Stories from the back of the house. And with us is Stevie Dunham, the CEO of Street Corner Records and Entertainment, and many other things. Now, we were talking,
Yes.
and you said you had a little trouble. Is it all right to talk about that? Or
It was 34, almost 35 years ago. So,
has it
yeah,
been
it's
taken
okay.
off the
I mean,
blotter?
some of the guys are still locked up, but I won't mention any names. I got into a major problem
Yeah.
in New York City. I didn't know I was being watched, and um, I got pinched in front of my building on Pacific Street.
What was the charge?
It was a RICO Act. I got 7 indictments and
Oh.
charges out of 35.
Conspiring with other criminals.
Oh, you name it. I mean, I got popped for 7 big ones, and
Did you do time?
no, but I was looking at 40 years at time. My attorney, which was a very well-known mob attorney, his name was Shargo, and
Uh-huh.
he says to me this. He goes, "This is flimsy. You got no case. This is all because of an informant, a rat.
Somebody
which
ratted you
They
out.
ratted out 62 guys." Now I'm in the Irish consortium, not the Italian Cosa
But you're Irish and Italian.
Yes, and I was accepted into the Irish clan. So, and they don't care if both parents are one or the other, as long as the father is Irish. Anyway, this case lasted about 2.5 months, and they got nothing. I was acquitted in all charges, and they sealed up my records. And then I ended up with an IRS case for tax evasion, which the government still wanted their
Sure,
money.
they wanted
their
the
zork.
scarol.
Yeah. So I didn't beat that one, but I paid almost $1 million in restitution. I go to jail for 10 years.
You got to work real hard to pay that.
I had the money, and
did.
what we did, my partner and I, we had taken on a young Wall Street guy our age, and we shylocked him, and he would borrow from us, and then he put the money in the market, and he was an inside trader, and we put our money with him, and we basically told him, he said, "You screw us out of our money, you're going to be on a milk carton." It was just that simple.
That was that
And
simple.
He made us a lot of money, and that saved us from. We paid our fees and our fines, and then of course our people thought we skimmed, and then we're going to end up getting killed anyway.
Yeah.
So we got the hell out of Dodge. I actually had to take a hiatus from school to go through these cases. And when I went back to South Florida, even though I was chancy, I went back to school.
So you lived in Florida for a while.
Yeah, I was determined to graduate. I didn't care what was thrown at me.
Mhm.
So I got my degree. It was only a couple of months away anyway from graduating with a music business degree. So I got it, and then we got the hell out of Dodge, and we moved to Vegas. My partner ended up in Los Angeles. I stayed here.
So you came to Vegas in '93.
Yeah.
You're already a well-known doo-wop singer.
I was one of the youngest producers of this music in the United
but
States
you
when I
also
started.
sang on all that.
I did. I sang and produced records with them without credit and sang on many stage shows. And I worked with a lot of legends, Johnny Maestro of the Brooklyn Bridge and the Crest, Larry Chance of the Earls, Harvey Fuqua of the Moonglows, Pookie Hudson of the Spaniels, Jive 5, Eugene Pitt, which is my mentor. And there's about 60 plus guys I backed up or shared the stages with easily enough in groups.
Part of the Chaperons?
I was a member of the Chaperons. I helped reform the Chaperons with an original founding member, Nick Salvato, and we put out a CD. And it sold very well. And it helped keep the trademark active with the group. And we were inducted into the Las Vegas Entertainers Hall of Fame in 2011.
There you go. Yeah,
That's
I'm
my
a member
first
of that
one.
one too, by the
Yeah,
way.
I'm in it 2 times. I'm in it with
Yeah.
the Night Kings too, another local Las Vegas group. It's just a thrill. I'm not an illegitimate person, just so you know. I mean, I lived a life like that, and I learned a very hard
What
lesson. very
business
young.
did you open when you arrived here?
I started Street Corner Entertainment Records in 2004.
Okay,
but
right here in Las Vegas.
But I worked
so
in the logistics
20
business.
years old right
yeah,
now, the company.
Yeah, it's going to be 25 next month, actually. I worked in the logistics and trucking business as my civilian job. So I worked that for 24 years, and I worked in clubs and bands at night.
You were busy.
I was always working. I never was not working. And I worked in a lot of different hotels. I worked in almost all the old hotels, every hotel except for the brand new ones that are existing today. I worked in them all, downtown and on the Strip.
In 1990s, when you came here, that's when the Strip began to evolve into a corporate, I call it nightmare.
It did. It was a
It,
corporate
it,
nightmare.
it became that. It started with the Mirage
Yes, it
with
did.
Steve Wynn, but he at first banned fanny packs and strollers.
Yes, I remember that.
But then he gave in later.
Yeah, he did. I mean, they turned it in. They wanted to turn it into like a Disneyland
Yeah.
for kids and adults, not just for adults. It was more oriented towards adults historically. The corporatization of Las Vegas, it took a lot of the personal touch of service out from the workers to the
Big
patronage.
time.
And you remember this, I mean, coming here and living here back then, they would know your name 5 years if you've never been in a joint. They know your first, last name, your mother, your
Everything.
wife, everybody.
Favorite drink, your best favorite meal.
Absolutely. And they would comp you, even if you needed it or not. If you were down and out, you blew all your money. They would give you money
You
to
didn't
get
have
home.
to play the slots. You didn't need a
No.
player's card.
No.
You didn't have to. They did it because everybody was a VIP.
Yes, and they did that purposely. And these are the old school guys, the guys that built Vegas in particular before the corporations took over. And it was still leaked over a little bit in the beginning in the early '90s, and then it started to just slowly evolve out. I mean, it just dissipated.
In 1993, when you came, I was the marketing director for Circus Circus.
Okay, well, there were still aspects there.
But we were owned by one man. His name was William G. Bennett,
Right,
who
exactly.
doesn't nearly get the kind of recognition
No, he doesn't.
he should
Everybody
have.
else does.
He built Circus Circus. He built the Excalibur. He
Right.
built the Pyramid. He built the Luxor, and he also built Mandalay Bay. And they don't give him anything for that.
They don't give him any
Down in
credit at all.
Laughlin, I was with them. They owned the Colorado Bell
Great
and the
place.
Edgewater.
Yeah, another great casino.
Well, he was hands-on. The
Yeah,
difference
that's what I
was
heard.
that his office was 5 steps from my office, and he's the big shot. He's the man. And if I wanted something done, I go ask him.
Right.
No red
exactly.
tape.
Yeah, he didn't have to go through an
No
emissary or
reports.
nothing. Yeah, he didn't have to cut through all that.
But
BS.
this is the way we did it.
Yeah.
Again, back of the house.
Right.
Mr. Bennett would literally go into the kitchen and squeeze the lettuce. Now, man, this guy's worth $850 million.
Right. I get it. Yeah.
Squeeze the lettuce to make sure it was fresh.
Well, that's a good boss.
That's a good boss. One
Yeah.
time we were in the restaurant called the Pink Pony,
Oh yeah.
which I always objected to that name, but he told me to shut my mouth. Him and I were close. He always said, Tom? He called me Tom because the guy before me was Tom, and he couldn't make the change. Tom became the marketing guy of the Luxor.
Oh wow.
So he says,
Oh,
we're
man.
sitting having lunch. The waiter brings the hamburger with the fries. He looks at the fries and he says, take this back and cut them in half. They were too long.
Wow.
So what Mr. Bennett he comes back. It's almost like the casino story with the blueberry muffins.
Right. Exactly.
He
Yeah.
brings it back and the fries are cut in half. And he turns to me and he says, do you know what I just did? I said, you cut the fries in half. He's, yeah, but does it look like more? I said, absolutely it does.
Yes.
So it was piled higher. It looked like more, same amount of fries.
That's great. I remember all the great things like the 99-cent hot dogs and
Absolutely.
the shrimp cocktails. And, they give you rolling nickels of quarters, there's incentives, gifts, jackets if you hit royal flushes.
Everything.
All the great stuff that you can imagine that really enticed people to come here because they always thought, well, if I get a royal, I'm going to get a satin jacket with the
Yeah.
casino name on it. And, the last hotel to do this, if I recollect, was the Orleans that did that.
There's one more hotel that's just like the old days. I'm going to come back and tell you about it.
Okay.
But
yeah.
right now we got to take another break.
Cool. All right.
We'll be right back. More with Stevie Dunham, the Don of Vinyl and the CEO of Street Corner Records and Entertainment. But we're going to talk about his current business and the stars that he's making right here in Las Vegas, some of your favorite lounge acts. We'll be right back.